Hey guys, welcome to Jill's Creative Side. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone is staying warm. It has been freezing up here on the mountain. So today we're going to be making some clay earrings, and I just want to welcome everybody to Jill's Creative Side. Also, make sure you comment on this live. Even if you're not watching it live, comment on it. That way you get entered into the January drawing. So that's one way to get entered. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, give me a thumbs up, and also set your notifications so you get notified every time you're going to get notified every time I post a video. So thanks everyone for being on. Hey Lisa, hey girl, happy birthday. Woo woo. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So we're going to go over the supplies, what you're going to need, and then we're going to get into making them. So the first thing is you want to make sure your hands don't have a lot of lotion on them. You don't want oils and stuff getting in the clay. So you're going to need to, I'm using, it's a glass out of a picture frame. That's what I use to do my clay on, because it's easier to get it off without, you don't want to distort the shapes once you get them made, because it's really easy to do that. So I have a piece of glass. You can use tile, you can use anything really, but you want to make sure that when you're getting the clay up, you don't distort the size, okay? And I have parchment paper, and I use that to put the clay on, and I bake it on that, because this clay you have to bake it. And I bake mine at 275 degrees for 30 minutes. Now, I bought a oven thermometer for my oven because I heard that sometimes the ovens don't heat up as fast as they say. Like if your oven beeps and says it's at the temperature you set it at, sometimes it's really not. Mine was really not. So when I set it for 275, I checked that thermometer to make sure it's on 275 before I put the clay in there, because that can cause issues with how your clay turns out. Another thing that I have, and you don't have to have one of these, and I didn't have one when I first started out, was a pasta machine, and I just bought this cheapie off of Amazon. You just need that. That is for conditioning the clay, because you don't want the clay to have bubbles in it, air bubbles. That's the best way to get them out. You can also use an acrylic roller. That's what I started out using. These work just fine, but it's time consuming. So I went ahead and got the pasta machine because I tried making them. I really liked how it turned out, so that's what I bought the pasta machine for, and they're pretty reasonable on Amazon. You're also going to need tissue cutters, and I'm sorry, tissue blade, not tissue cutter. And let me just warn you, these things are so sharp. I had cut my fingers the first time I used it and didn't even know it until there was blood everywhere. So you don't want that. You want to be very, very careful, because this thing is so sharp, okay? And this is what we use to scrape it off the glass with. This is what I cut straight lines with. The one I bought was 2 different sizes. I used the longer one, but it came with the shorter one. I got these off Amazon. If y'all want the link to this stuff, I can get it for you. I'll go back and get where I ordered these supplies from. You're also going to need some clay, obviously. I really like the Sculpey clay, and I use the Primo and I use the Souffle. But the Souffle is more softer, and it's better for like decorating, or like, for instance, I did the little gray dots on the purple clay, and the Souffle is better to like the dots with. Sort of like this earring, the brown parts is like little tiny pieces of clay on the orange parts. And then this is a cross set that I made with the glitter clay, and I did put acrylic resin over top of it. I believe I used UV resin. These are one of the first ones I did with the UV resin. I can't use UV resin because it causes me to have bad headaches, and it works really good. I just can't use it. When I use resin, I use the Maker Studio Glacier resin, and that does not give me a problem. You just have to let it sit for like 24 to 48 hours before it hardens. So I'm gonna get my pasta machine. Oh, also you're gonna need cutters. Like I just bought these off Amazon. Some I got in Hobby Lobby. These are just like Star. They're kind of just like a cookie cutter. They do make plastic ones that you can get off Etsy. So I have hearts, I have all different kinds of shape. These are very inexpensive. I have circles. I even bought like some leaf ones on clearance at Michael's. They're kind of big. And then I have bought some pumpkins I thought would be fun next year. And also, I bought this little kit at Amazon. It is just like to cut circles with. And some people put their earring holes in the clay before they bake it. I tried that, and I think I like better using the drill, so that's what I do. But this is really good if you want to make different size circles. So this is a really good set. It just has all different kinds. This also came from Amazon. I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon to start out with. Just they were inexpensive. I wasn't sure if I would like working with clay. Turns out I love working with clay. It's so much fun. So these are the cutters I have, and I bought these square ones. And I think that covers all of the supplies you'll need. Of course, you'll need the earring hardware if you're gonna make earrings. So let me get my pasta machine. All I'm doing is clamping it to the table so that it doesn't move when I'm running the pasta, running the clay through. And all you do is you just put it in, turn the handle, and it like makes it smooth the more you run it through. All right, I'm gonna take my rings off because I don't want clay in my rings. So we're gonna take those off because your hands will get turned colors sometimes, but it's okay. I have baby wipes, paper towels. You wanna clean your blades, your cutters, everything after if you're using more than one color. You wanna make sure you have all that color cleaned off before you do it because it will get into your other color, and you really don't want to do that unless it doesn't bother you, unless you don't care if it mixes up. Sometimes it's okay. It turns out pretty cool. I've had that happen before with the glitter. The glitter is kind of hard to keep away from the other colors. Like you'll see glitter in the color sometimes. But I really enjoy working with clay. I haven't been making any clay ones for a few weeks, so I'm glad to get going on that. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do black and blue. It's gonna be really different. All right, and they come, this pack was already open, but they come like blocks. You can slice. I usually use one little slice at a time. And that one has some color on it. I don't know if I did that, which I probably did because I keep my clay in this box, and all the clay that I've used before that's left over, I just put it in here because you can still reuse it. It doesn't go bad at all. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm glad that y'all are tuning in. I love doing these lives with you guys. This makes me all happy. All right. So I've got a chunk of the black clay, and before I can put it through the pasta machine, you don't want to put it through with this big block like that. You want to kind of warm it up with your hands a little bit. That's why I took my rings off, because I don't want clay getting all over my rings. But yeah, I just warm it up, squeezing it a little bit until I can get it a little bit, soft. But now when you're working with it, if it gets too soft, you can put it in the freezer or in your refrigerator for a few minutes, like 20 minutes or something, and it'll firm it back up. Because sometimes if you're working with it a lot, it will get soft, and sometimes it gets too soft. You can't scrape it up off here. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. If you cannot see, let me know. Also, don't forget to comment on the live so you can get into the giveaway. I love doing the giveaways. I can't wait to see what Linda makes with hers. She got her giveaway. All right, so I have it kind of softened up a little bit like this. So I'm just going to go over it with the roller a couple times just to get it where I can get it in the pasta machine. And if any pieces come off, just stick them right back on. And so I'm going to stick this piece in the pasta machine. It's on a thicker size because I don't want it real thin, but I'm going to start it running it through that. And so it comes out looking like this. All right, so I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to run it through again, but I want to run it through the open part up because you don't want to trap the air bubbles in there. So I'm going to run it through there again. Okay, this is what it looks like, and I'm gonna fold it, and I'm gonna put it in this way this time. And this is what they call conditioning the clay, because you want to get it really soft and pliable. So I'm just going to keep running it through, and you can change your adjustments on the pasta machine to make it like thinner if you want it thinner. I have it on the, it goes like from 1 to 6. I have this one on a 1. And if you get fingerprints on here, you can get them off, and I did not bring the alcohol in here with me, but you can use alcohol and a Q-tip to remove the fingerprints, and that does really well. So I'm just running it through the pasta machine a bunch of times just to get it conditioned and shiny. It'll start looking really shiny. And I'm going to show you some really fun ways to make different like different designs in the clay when you have more than one color. It's really fun, all the stuff you can do with this. And if you're on, say hey, let me know you're on. If you're catching this on YouTube, welcome to Jill's Creative Side. If you're new to the group, welcome, welcome. I do giveaway or drawings every month, and the way you get in the drawing is you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll have to let me know if you do subscribe, because it doesn't always tell me who subscribes, so I need to know if you do. Also, follow me on Instagram, Jill Yvonne Photo, and post something of a craft that you're working on in the group, and that gets you entries into the drawing. And I give away, I just put stuff in there as I go along and make things. I put made projects in there. I put stencils. Last month I gave away the craft club from Magnolia Design Co. in that stencil. So there will be ways for you to try new stuff, new crafts by getting in the drawing. Okay, so I'm about done conditioning this one. All right, and if you can see, it's kind of shiny, and it will have those like little lines, and that's from the pasta machine, but they don't really show up much once you start cutting and doing all the fun stuff with the clay. Okay. I don't know why that's putting marks in there. I don't care for that much. One more time. I'm just trying to get it really shiny. It's putting marks on there. I don't know what's going on with the... Okay, so I have the black. It's nice and shiny. So I'm going to set that to the side over here, and I'm going to wipe off my roller and my blade because I'm going to open up the blue. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the blue and put some black spots in there, and then I'll do it the other way. And then we'll make some swirls, fun stuff like that. I love, love, love making these clay earrings. They're so much fun. Okay, so this is a brand new pack. And this is turquoise is the color. Primo Sculpey. Sculpey Primo Turquoise. All right, so I don't know if you guys have had much snow or cold weather where you are, but man, it has been cold up here. Last night I think it got down to 10. And then, you know, last weekend it was 70 degrees. That was totally insane. All right, so I just took my tissue blade and I just cut one block off of there. And so I'm just going to set that to the side. And it doesn't matter if you leave your clay open. It's not going to get hard. I just keep it in one of these lock and lock boxes from QVC. And I just put all my scrap pieces in there because you can go back in there and use those scrap pieces. So that's a cool part. So I'm just warming this up a little bit before I put it in the pasta machine. And then we're going to make some shapes and use some little dots, kind of like what I did with the stars on that one. It's just so much fun. I love, love, love this. Okay. So I'm just warming this up because you don't want to stick the block in the pasta machine. That's not a good idea. You want to get it a little bit soft, and then you want to start conditioning it in the pasta machine. And conditioning it makes it soft, shiny, and gets the bubbles out. You don't want to have any air bubbles. All right, so I just have this warmed up a little bit, and I'm going to go over it with the roller a couple times just to make it where I can get it in the pasta machine. And you don't have to have a pasta machine. You can use just a roller. It works just fine. Okay, so all I did was get it to looking like this. So I'm going to run this through the pasta machine. I'm going to put it back on the largest size, which is 1. I'm going the wrong way. And this just conditions the clay, and you want to fold it over, and I'm just putting it through there, and it comes out like this. And I'm just folding it and putting the folded part at the bottom because you don't want to trap the air bubbles in the clay. And I'm just going to run it through until it gets really soft and shiny and looking good. And now I'm going to fold it like that and put it in like this, and then just roll that, fold it, put it in. That's all you're doing. Now you can do this with the acrylic roller. It just takes a lot longer. And if y'all know me, you know I'm not very patient. But when it comes to crafting, I seem to have more patience, which is odd because I don't really have a lot of patience, especially when I'm driving. You can ask anybody that's ever ridden with me. So, what is everybody getting into this weekend? I know Wayne's going to be watching some college ball. My Georgia Bulldogs play on Monday. Excited for that. They're playing Alabama. Go Dogs. Whoop, whoop. And this is a shirt that I made. If you're interested, the design is going to be in my Mountain Breeze boutique. If you're not in that group, go join it. That's where I put all my earrings, shirts. I also sell plunder jewelry. I'm an independent stylist for plunder jewelry. And that's what these earrings are, and this necklace. And they actually had a bracelet set that says Pray, Wait, and Trust. So I was like, yeah, I had to have a shirt to match the bracelets. So I can do the designs on all different kinds of shirts and sweatshirts. And I'm thinking about getting into sublimation, but I'm still researching that. But this shirt is infusible ink. It's similar to sublimation, except that is just cut out of the Cricut onto Cricut infusible ink sheets. But sublimation, I can actually print the design, and it puts the ink into the fabric. So it's really nice and pretty. So I'm still working on that. And if I do decide to do that, I will definitely be doing lives on that too. So I'm just running it through, and this is what it's starting to look like. And you can change the settings on your pasta machine to go thinner or thicker. I have it on a 1 right now. It's on 2. And so that's all I'm doing right here. I can't get my camera over to the side so y'all can see that, unfortunately. And so it's just rolling the clay out. And if you put it on a thinner setting, it makes the strips longer. so I'm gonna put this on a little bit thinner setting, roll it through, and see how it makes it thinner. And since I have this nice and thin, I'm probably going to use this as the dots into the black. And I'm just running it through, getting it nice and you want it to be kind of stretchy. And that way you know it's conditioned enough when it's a little bit stretchy. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off the glass, get all the blue off. I'm going to wipe off the blade. And remember, this thing is really, really sharp, so just be careful with that. I'm going to wipe off my acrylic roller, and then I just dry it. And then we're going to put some blue into the black. All right, so I have the black. It's all conditioned. See how shiny that is? All right, so I'm going to put that here, and then I'm going to take little pieces of the blue. So what I'm going to do is cut some pieces of blue with the tissue blade. So I'm just going to cut little strips. Okay, so I just have these little strips here, and then I'm going to cut down this way to make little like squares, tiny squares that we're going to put into the black, and then we'll cut them, and then they'll be ready to be baked. It's such a cool project, and it's so easy to do. All right, so I have these little pieces of blue on there. Okay, so I'm going to take them, and I'm just going to take one little blue square and put it into the black. And I'm going to go over all of it and just put the little squares into the black, just all randomly around. And by cutting them with the tissue blade, you get them kind of the same shape and size. And so you just put them all around on the black.
Don't look now,
And that's what we're doing. We're putting little squares all over the black, and then we'll push it down with the acrylic roller. But this turns out so cool, you guys.
okay, if I do this?
Yeah. And so this is what I'm doing, and I'll pick it up and show it to you before I roll it. And see, it's just like these little tiny pieces of clay in these little bitty squares, and I'm just putting them all over the black. This is going to be so pretty with that color blue on the black. It really makes it pop. I really love making the earrings, the resin and the clay. It's just, I don't know, it's something cool about seeing something that you created and that you made. It's awesome. And if you need the links to the Amazon, the items that I got from Amazon, I'll be happy to post those if you would like. I did not spend a lot of money on the supplies because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like working with clay, but in fact I do. So, all right, so now I'm just picking up the squares that I didn't use, and I'm just gonna put them to the side. And I'm gonna wipe this off a little bit because there's blue on there, and I don't wanna get the blue on the black yet. All right, so let me pick this up and show you what we have. All right, so we have the little blue squares on the black. All right, now we're gonna take the roller the acrylic roller and very lightly go over it, okay? So I'm just gonna go over it pretty light. We just wanna make the blue pieces go into the black a little bit, okay? Let me set my, I want it on the thickest one because I don't want this really, really thin, and I don't want to change it a whole lot. Okay, so I just took the roller and went over it just to push them down in there a little bit so that they don't come out. All right, now I'm just going to put this through the pasta machine. And I might need to make it a little bit thinner. Maybe a little bit thinner. Oh yeah, that's definitely awesome. Okay, so you see how that looks, and that's just like the blue is now in the black, okay? So now I'm gonna try to figure out what shape to make it. So I think I'm gonna use this, okay? And it's just gonna be like a diamond shaped earring. All right, so all I'm doing is, sorry, that's Ellie Mae out there barking. I think she must hear me doing this. So I'm just placing the cookie cutter over the part that, you know, I want to see the blue, and you can kind of decide where you want to see it. So I'm just going to put it on there, and then I'm going to push it down, okay? And I'm going to make sure it goes down all the way to the glass and lift up. Whoops. All right, so I'm going to do one more because I want a set of earrings. All right, so I want to kind of make it match the other one, not exactly because you'll never get it exact, but similar. And so I'm going to push it down. Okay, now I have some room for more shapes that I can push out. So I think what I'm gonna do is maybe a couple circles. Or do I want to do this? All right, I think I'm gonna do the smaller teardrop. This was the bigger one, so I have a smaller one. I think I'm gonna do the smaller one. Okay. And then I'll push this one down. Okay, so now I have all my shapes on here. I'm going to pull up the part that I didn't cut, and it should leave the cut pieces on the glass. Okay, so there they are. So this right here, I will just reuse that in a minute. So I have the pieces there, okay? So now I'm gonna take my blade and I wanna put these on, I need a piece of cardboard. Hold on, you guys. Hang on, guys, I'm trying to find a piece of cardboard. Here we go. I just want something kind of, so I can pick it up. So I'm just gonna put the parchment paper on this cardboard, and then I'll just lay the earrings on there. So I'm going to take the tissue blade and I'm just going to scrape it up, okay? And you don't want to stretch it. You don't want to make your shapes deform. So if it sticks a little bit, come out, go back in on the other side really lightly, because you don't want to distort the size. And I have done that a lot. So I'm just going under it, okay? So pick these up. Okay, and I'm just going to slide them right off onto the parchment paper as gently as I can, because I don't want to mess up the shape, and it will do that. I have distorted them before. Like if your clay gets too warm, it doesn't want to scrape up off of there. So you just have to be really careful. Once they're baked, they're good. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so those are 2 pairs of earrings we just made. How cool was that? All right, so now I'm going to wipe off this just a little bit, because I'm going to take this and we're going to use it. So we're going to ball this up, and we're going to start running it through there and see what it looks like with the blue pieces already on there. See what that looks like. I might take a few of these other blue spare pieces and mix them in. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to make this a little bit flatter so I can run it into the pasta machine. So now I'm going to take these blue pieces of the ones that I cut, and I'm just going to mix them right in there with the black. Don't know what it's going to look like, but I guarantee it's going to be awesome. All right, so I'm just taking these blue pieces and I'm just going to put them right on there like that, and I'm going to fold this over, and then we're just going to start working it with your hands, getting it a little bit warm or soft. Okay, so now I'm just going to roll this a little bit so I can put it in the pasta machine and start rolling this around. And or putting this through. So I'm putting it back on like 1, which is a thick setting, and then I'll put it through on the thinner setting once we get this rolled out some or conditioned some. And I can't really see a lot of blue. So what I may do, because the blue must be inside there, fold it up. So what I may do is just go ahead and add some blue. All right, so I've got it like this. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this piece and I'm going to take it and in my hands to get it into like a little roll, sort of. Okay, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna do the same thing with this blue. I'm just gonna roll it around, get it to sort of a shape like this, and then I'm gonna twist them together. It makes kind of like a marble look. It's pretty cool. So, all right, so I've got it like this. So I'm gonna roll it a little bit just to get it into like a shape like this. I'm gonna do the same thing with the black. It doesn't matter if the blue and the black get on each other because I'm gonna put them together. Okay, so I'm gonna put them like this. And I want the blue a little bit longer. Okay, so now I have this. I have 2 shapes. Let me get the black one more time. All right, so this is what we have. So I'm gonna take these and I'm just gonna start twisting them together just like that, okay? We're just gonna twist them. And then I'm gonna fold it. It's trying to break. I'm gonna fold it like this. I'm gonna get it pretty hard together, pretty soft, and get it together as best I can, okay? And then I'm gonna roll it a little bit. Like this. All right, now I'm just gonna start twisting it again, just like we did before. Okay, that's what that looks like. So now it broke. I'm gonna put it back together and I'm gonna do the same thing again. And I'm gonna do this several times, and then I'm gonna run it through the pasta machine. And this kind of gives it, I don't know, it's a really neat looking design. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm just gonna twist it. That's all I'm doing, just twisting it, and now I'm gonna fold it like that. I'm gonna twist it, and it broke, so I'm gonna fold it, and we're gonna get it soft again. And then I'm gonna run it through the pasta machine. And then that's it. That's how you do earrings. But there's so many different ways and designs you can come up with your clay by making like designs like this. It's so awesome. So I'm gonna do it kind of, one hand's going this way, one hand's going that way on the clay. Just to twist it out. Look at that. How pretty is that? All right, so let's do this. And then I'm gonna fold it again, and we're gonna get it together, and then I'm gonna put it through the pasta machine. Okay, so this is what I have right now, but I wanna make it a little flatter so it will go in the pasta machine, because you don't wanna put it in there real thick. All right, check it out. How cool is that? All right, so now I'm gonna put it through the pasta machine. All right, this is what we have. I'm gonna keep doing that until I get it conditioned really well. And there is an air bubble. I don't know if you can see it right there. So we definitely want to get that out of there. And by conditioning it in the pasta machine, we'll get rid of the bubbles, or we'll help with the bubbles. That's what we have. Pretty cool design. Okay, so I'm just gonna run it through. Oh wow, look at that. That's pretty wild looking. It's starting to get like mixed together, so I'm gonna stop with it right here and cut some, because that is pretty cool looking. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my cutters. Look at the edges of that. That's wild. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my cutters and let's do some stars. So I'm gonna take the cutter and I'm just gonna push down and make some stars. And you just want to make sure it goes all the way to the glass. All right, now I think I have a smaller star to do. There's a smaller one. I have enough to do a couple of those. So there's that. We'll do one up here. Now I'm just going to peel up the clay, and that leaves the stars. How amazing is that? All right, so then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to throw it in my pile of scraps. So this is what we have with the stars. So I'm going to scrape these up carefully because they might be getting a little bit soft, because you really don't want to distort the stars, because you could really tell on those that they're distorted. These came up really good. All right. Okay, so there's that. And then once you bake them, if there's any edges that need to be fixed that are kind of rough, you can use sandpaper. I use like a little file, a nail file on some of them. Or you can use sandpaper or a Dremel. Works really good. All right, so I'm going to wipe this off because I want to try another color. I'm just wiping everything off because we don't want to transfer the colors onto the new ones that we're going to do. All right, let's do some glitter. I think the glitter and the blue would be really, really pretty. Okay. So I have Sculpey Primo, and this is well, it's black glitter. I don't know the exact name of it. And you can get this clay at Michael's, Joanne Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, everywhere sells it. So I'm just cutting it on that line. You can make bigger cuts if you want to make more. So I just cut this chunk off of there. And we're going to soften it up, and then we will condition it in the pasta machine. So that's what I'm doing here, is doing this, softening it up. You can use it down here, it's fine. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay, you can still do it. It won't bother. So I'm using the black glitter, and I actually have some silver glitter. I might use the black because I think that might be prettier than the blue. Actually, the blue would be pretty in the silver, but I've already got the black out and we're working on it. So we're gonna stick with that. I even have little snowman cutters. They're so cool. They have a lot of different cutters on Etsy that are really, really fun, but I don't have, I just have these shapes. I have the crosses, which I love the crosses, so I may do that next. All right, so I've got it pretty soft, so I'm just gonna flatten it a little bit with the roller and then run it through the pasta machine to condition it. so that's what it looks like. You see the glitter, and I'm gonna put it through the pasta machine on the thickest setting. Oh, I thought it was. Okay, this was on like the thinnest. It is paper thin, and I don't want it that thin. So I'm just gonna put it back together like this. Change my dial because I had it on the wrong setting. And we're gonna run it through thick. But I need to flatten it a little bit with the roller. Like so. And this is what it looks like. So now I'm gonna put it through the pasta machine on one of the thicker settings. That's much better. So I'm folding it, putting it fold down because you don't want to trap any of the air bubbles or the air in there to cause bubbles. And you just want to keep conditioning it till it gets soft or shiny and a little bit like stretchy. These are so fun to make, y'all. Just the different ways. I've watched so many videos on YouTube about how you can make different designs with the color and how you cut it and put it together. It's just amazing what you can do with this clay. So I'm just putting it through, running it through on the thickest setting right now, and then I'm gonna put it on the next setting. So what is everybody having for dinner tonight? I have pinto beans cooking in the crock pot that are gonna be delicious. And I'm gonna make some cornbread and scallop potatoes. Okay, so I'm conditioning it in the pasta machine, and I'm gonna put it on another setting. We wanna go a little bit thinner. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna go a couple more times and then we'll do the gray. And I'll show you how to do kind of like polka dots. All right, I'm gonna go one more time. Make sure we get all the air out of there. Okay, so we have the black glitter, and that looks good. So I'm gonna lay it to the side, and I'm gonna get out the gray, and I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm only gonna do, I'm gonna roll up like little balls to make polka dots. So I'm gonna condition this the same way. Just have a block here, and I'm gonna condition it the same way. And then we'll be done. But this is so much fun, you guys. I'm loving all the different ways that you can make designs and different things you can do with the colors to come out like swirly colors. And I'll do the swirly again without getting the colors mixed so much together, because that one mixed up, I did it too much through the pasta machine, so it made it kind of like one color, which I wasn't really going for that look. But we'll try the black and the gray like that. So I have this, and I'm gonna run it through on the thickest setting, which on my pasta machine is a 1. And then I'll start going a little bit thinner and a little bit thinner. So this is what the silver looks like, and it's glitter also. If y'all have worked with clay before, let me know. I'd love to see some of your designs and creations. I love seeing what other people come up with. It's super fun. All right, so I'm gonna go to another setting, a little bit thinner. A little bit thinner. I just like to make sure that it's really conditioned good so that it doesn't have any air bubbles or anything. Ellie Mae, she's so silly. Okay, so here is the silver. Now what I'm gonna do with the silver is I'm gonna make little round balls and I'm gonna put it into the black. And so I'm gonna take the silver and I'm just gonna cut a couple little strips. And I'm just gonna take them, this one might be too big, and roll it in a circle to make a little ball. I think that one's gonna be too big, it is. So that one's a little bit bigger than what I want. So I'm gonna take half of, all right, I've cut these in little strips. So I'm gonna take like half of a strip and I'm gonna roll it around, make a little round ball. I'm just rolling it on my hand. You can do like the back of your hand too. So we just have a little round ball, just like that. And I just dropped it. All right, so we'll make another one. Oh my goodness. All right, so. And you're gonna have, your hands are gonna be different colors when you get done. It's okay, it comes right off. All right, so here's, try not to drop it. There's a little ball and I'm gonna take it and put it on the black, just like we did the squares on the black and the blue. So I'm gonna put it right there, like that. Hope you guys can see that. All right, so now I'm gonna do another one. And they don't all have to be the same size, but you just want it to be a round ball. Okay, so I got another one, and I'm just gonna put this one right on there, and I'm gonna take my cutter, tissue blade. I don't know why I keep calling it a cutter. Tissue blade. I never even heard of a tissue blade before I started using clay. So I'm just making a round ball, just like that. All right, I'm gonna put that one on here. That's what I'm doing, is just making little round balls, and then we will put them all in the black, and then we'll run it through the pasta machine. That one's a little bigger than what I want. I'm gonna go over it with the acrylic roller first, and then I'll put it through the pasta machine, just to make sure that it's down in the black really well. I really like how that black and that blue turquoise turned out. That I love that. And the thing about it is you can just keep using the clay over and over. What your scraps like these, I could just keep mixing colors and coming up with all kinds of different designs and colors. All right, so. And you can get Sculpey sells gloss glaze. I have not used it yet. I did get some, but I haven't used it yet. You can use resin on top of your items, but I kind of like having just the clay look. I really like the clay look. I think that's super pretty. These that I did here are just, they don't have any coating or anything on them. It's just the clay. I love how they turned out. And so these two I think are too big, so I'm just gonna take them and cut them in half and roll little balls. And then I'm gonna put that on the black. Yep, so make sure you guys comment on the live, whether it's live with me or if you're catching this on a replay later. Make sure you make a comment on the video. Tell me if you liked it or not. Just make a comment. That gets you a drawing into the January drawing. And I give away all different kind of things. I have in the box right now let's see, I think I have some chalk paste samples and a resin mold. So I'll be adding stuff to it all month long, and then I'll give it away to somebody at the end of the month. But the way you get in the drawing is you comment on the lives, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Jill's Creative Side, you follow me on Instagram, which is Jill Yvonne Photo, and share your crafts that you're working on or something, a craft that you've done that is going to get you in there. So you want to get in there that way, because last month, I put the craft box in there for December's craft box from Magnolia. I put that in there, the whole thing, because I want you guys to try this stuff. It's super fun. Okay, so I have this one finished, okay? You see all the little round balls I put in the black, okay? And they're just sitting on the black. So I'm going to take my roller, my acrylic roller, and I'm just going to lightly go over it. I'm not going to put pressure on it. I just want to get the round circles down where they don't pop off when I put it through the pasta machine, okay? So I'm not putting any pressure on there. I think my clay is getting a little soft. Okay, so now that it's, let me use this. It's getting a little soft. All right, so now I'm gonna take this, is what we have, and you can see it's not down in there yet. I'm gonna run this through the pasta machine, maybe one time. We'll see what it comes out like. Oh wow, that looks pretty wild. That did not do the polka dots, but that's okay. We'll run it through again. All right, so this is what we have. It's kind of like ovals. So I'm gonna cut cutters. I'm gonna do the cross cutter, and it's just this cross cutter. So I'm gonna put that down where I think I want it, and I'm just gonna push down, and I'm gonna make sure it goes to the glass really well, and then I'm gonna do the same thing again. And you can see like what shapes you have in the when you're looking down on there, so you can kind of decide where you want it and what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to do a couple of the small ones. I have some small cross cutters, and I'm going to do a couple small ones, and then I'll get them up, and then we'll try that. Now if it sticks in there, which it did, I've got to run something down in there. So I'm going to take this, but I'm not going to use that pointy edge. I'm just going to run it down just enough to push it out without changing the shape. You don't want to distort the shape. Okay, so that looks really cute. All right, so I'm going to pull up the excess clay, and it leaves what you've cut. All right, I'm going to use my tissue blade to get these up carefully, because you don't want to distort the size. This looks so cute, and you really don't want to get fingerprints on the front of it, even though alcohol will take those fingerprints right off. Or not alcohol, but acetone fingernail polish remover. Sorry about that. That will take the, if you use like a Q-tip, that'll take the fingerprints off. Okay, so now I have this piece left, so I'm just going to ball it up, and we're going to mix in this gray with it and do kind of like the swirl, but except I'm not going to run so much through there where it makes it all one color like I did on the other one. So I'm just going to make it like a long piece like this, and I'm going to try to do it longer than I did the other one earlier. Well, that one's coming apart. Let's do it again. All right, so I just love how you can make so many different things. So I'm going to do the same thing with this gray one. I'm going to roll it up and make it into a roll like this one, and then we're going to twist them together, and then we'll roll it out and cut it, because I don't want to make it blend like I did that other one. I want to make it kind of swirly looking. So I'm just making a roll with my hands, sort of the same size as the other one. Okay, here's what we have. So now I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to twist them. Okay, so that's what we have. All right, now we're going to fold it, and we're going to roll it out And we're going to do the same thing again. And then you'll start seeing the swirls in it. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. Also, you guys, if you're not in the Mountain Breeze Boutique group, go get in that. That's a public group. That's just where I sell all my t-shirts and earrings. And I also put Plunder on there as well, because I'm a stylist for Plunder Jewelry, and their jewelry is awesome. Okay, so here's what we have. So I'm just going to kind of twist it. And then I'm going to fold it. And I'm going to do it again. Roll it out. Okay, and then I'm just going to twist it. I'm going to fold it. We're going to do it again. So I'm going to roll it out. And I'm going to twist it. Okay. Now I'm going to fold it again. And then I'm going to fold it again. And I'm going to roll it with this a little bit, just to get it together soft. I don't really want to mix the colors like I did on that last one. I want to try to make it. So let me put it on the thickest setting, which is a 1. All right, so this is what we have right now. So I'm going to run this through, and hopefully it won't blend all my colors too much together. And it's getting ready to get one color, so you know what I'm going to do? Let me see. I'm almost afraid to do it again because I know it's going to mix the colors up. Yep, it did. Okay, so it kind of made swirls. So we're just going to cut from this, because if I do it again, it is going to mess it all up. So I'm going to do the cross ones again, and I'm going to cut all the way across. We can make right many of them. So I'm just going to push it down, and I'm going to go right across. I think my dial on my pasta machine, it says it's on 1, but I think it's actually on a, I don't know. I'm going to have to study on that a little bit, because I think I'm putting it to the wrong setting. Okay, so now I'm going to use the star, and I'm going to do a couple stars, and then that will be it. Okay, now I'm going to pull up the excess. And that leaves all my cut items. So I'm going to take this and put it in my pile of scraps, and I'm going to carefully get these up. So there is one of the stars. That looks pretty cool. And then there's one of the crosses. Love, love, love. And then these bake at 275 for 30 minutes. And make sure if you do this, you get an oven thermometer, because my oven, when it says it's like at 350 or whatever, it's really not. It takes it a few 10 or 15 minutes longer, or I don't know, 10 minutes longer to get to that temperature. And it will mess up the clay if it doesn't bake at the correct temperature. So there's that. And I haven't had any trouble baking it for 30 minutes at that temperature in my oven. Some people have to try different temperature settings and whatnot just to get it right, but so far that one has worked out pretty good. So that is it, you guys. Those are the earrings. So what I'll do is I'll bake those, and then I will put the earring hardware on there, and I will post the final pictures of what they look like when we're done. I'll also post one when I get it out of the oven, so that you can see the process. I'm probably gonna fix dinner first, and then I'll bake these once we get done with dinner. And I just bake them in my oven, and there's no smell or anything. I've not had any kind of smell or anything like that. So if you have any questions at all, let me know. If you liked this, let me know. Love, like, comment, do all the fun things. Get you an entry into the drawing. And that's it, you guys. It was so much fun with hanging out with you guys on this nice Saturday afternoon. I hope you guys are staying warm. I think it is supposed to start warming up. It's been ridiculously cold up here. I mean, our driveway was still snow-covered ice. It was like 10 degrees last night. Yikes. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'll probably come live again tomorrow because I want to make some Valentine decorations with you guys. So make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. And go subscribe to my channel, Jill's Creative Side on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Jill Yvonne Photo. And go join the Mountain Breeze Boutique if you're not in there. And that's all I got for you guys. I hope y'all have a great day. Stay warm, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.